Okay, as you can see here, I've got a wiring diagram that I'll be referencing throughout this video.
Hi there, my name is Alex, and today I'm going to be showing you how to test your windshield wiper system, including inspection of the windshield wipers, the motors, harness, and switch, and fuse. First thing I'm going to do is remove the windshield wipers, then go ahead and check them. Before you remove them, you want to make sure they hug the windshield properly. After you remove them, you'll check the blades themselves for dry rot, cracking, any indication that you may need new wiper blades, so that you have a good clean white. Alright, next, according to our wiring diagram, power comes from the battery to the fuse block. Fuse block's under the dash, slot number 19. You're going to check and make sure your block actually has power. So for that, we're going to use a test light. Go to a good known ground, and if you have power at your fuse block, the light should come on, as you can see there. So we have power. Next, you'll actually test the fuse itself. You'll go ahead and test that in ohms. So we'll go ahead and ohm the fuse out here. So for this, you're just going to take and touch one probe to each pin, and should get a low to zero reading, as long as you do not have a blown fuse. So as you can see here, we're getting a 0 ohm reading, so the fuse is good. Okay, next you're going to test your wiper motor switch. That's in the dash on your steering column. As you can see, I've got a steering column here. To test the switch, you'll disconnect your harness from the switch to isolate it. From the switch, you'll put in ohms, and you'll need to operate it. So the first thing we're going to check is the high side. For the high side, you touch the ground pin to the high pin. And as you can see here, we have great continuity through the switch, 0 ohms. Then we're going to go ahead and go into low, again from the ground to the high, or to the low. And again, we have great continuity going through the switch. And last but not least, we're going to test the wiper switch. Go ahead and get your prongs connected and operate the switch. And as you can see there, we've got good continuity going through the wiper motor switch as well. So once you test your switches, then you'll move on to your motors themselves. Okay, it's important to note that on this particular 2006 Camry, the relay for the windshield wiper system is in the switch. It's an electronic relay, so you won't hear that normal relay clicking. For testing a relay, you can reference a previous video that I've done. After that, we're going to go ahead and test the harness. For the harness, you're going to test it for voltage. You want to have your meter set up in volts, and you will go ahead and probe with the windshield wipers on and into the position you're testing. You'll locate your ground pin, which we know is the white wire with the black from our wiring diagram, and the high side, I have it in high, is the pink. So when I make contact there, you'll see we have battery voltage at 1292. You can also check your fused link. Fuse is the light green, which should also be reading battery voltage, and it is. Switch it into low. And with it switched into low, you can grab your ground pin again, white with a black stripe, and grab your low pin, which is the brown. And as you can see, we're reading battery voltage there. So you also have your reference voltage. Reference voltage should be a lower voltage. We've got a 1.85 volts for our reference voltage. So our harness is good. And lastly, we want to check our voltage drop from our ground. And we will go ahead and go from your ground. So we've got thousandth of a volts, which we're looking for anywhere from 0.2 to 0.5 volts as an acceptable voltage drop. So we're good there. Okay, after you get your wiper motor removed, you go ahead and check your linkages. These are your linkages. You want to make sure the bushings are good and there's no free play. Otherwise your wipers would have a sloppy wipe. After you have it removed, you go ahead and set up your multimeter in ohms. With your multimeter set in ohms, you're going to test from the ground to any of the terminals that operate the motor. So I'm going to go from ground to high. And as you can see, the motor has a resistance of 0.04 ohms, so it has good continuity. Okay, so for this vehicle, the washer motor is actually attached to the tank itself under the vehicle. As you can see there, we're going to test the harness and voltage. Make sure we have battery power coming to our harness. So for that, you're going to go ahead and hook up your leads directly into the harness with it unplugged. As you can see there, we're reading battery voltage. Then you'll go ahead and test for your voltage drop. Go to a good known ground from the negative. And as you can see there, we're getting a good 0 reading, so we've got a good voltage drop there. Then you're going to go ahead and switch your multimeter into ohms with it still unplugged, and you'll go ahead and ohm out the motor itself by taking your leads and touching one to each pin. And as you can see there, we're getting a reading of 0.01 ohms, so that's a good reading. That's a good motor.